Clean, fresh drinking water is something that all residents of St. Lucia deserve. But up until now, it wasn't always available in Vieux.
Sometimes I have to leave Black Bay and go to library and go to other community for a shower.
How bad is the water?
When it rains, it's very bad.
Every time you have a heavy downpour, or even a slight downpour sometimes, the water is turned off.
Poor quality water has been a constant complaint. There have been shortages in the dry season, and sometimes in the wet season, the water wasn't drinkable.
Sometimes going to the river to get water to wash, to bathe. We had to be, when they give the water 4 o'clock in the morning, persons had to be staying up, making sure that they're up to fill in their stuff. Sometimes you don't even finish full your stuff of water because it doesn't even last an hour.
That's why Wasco has invested in the construction and upgrade of 2 sophisticated water treatment plants.
We are right now in Grace, where we are proceeding with the earthwork, where we will install a new treatment plant and also some new administration building, chemical buildings and electrical buildings. So what you see at the back is the earthwork.
Work on improving the water supply in the south of the island began in 2013 with a comprehensive study by Stantec International Consulting Limited of Canada. Based on recommendations, the government of St. Lucia approached the Caribbean Development Bank, and in 2014, a loan was approved. In July 2015, a loan agreement was signed to the tune of $19.5 million. An additional $4.2 million was contributed by government and Wasco in counterpart funding. This video will explain what Wasco is doing to improve the reliability and quality of water in Vieux.
This project is basically the mother of all water projects that have ever been undertaken in the South. It is a project costing 60 million EC dollars.
Vieux's first water treatment plant was constructed during World War II to service the military base.
The Americans, during World War II, that's almost 70 years ago, they were the ones that installed the first treatment plant in Vieux.
The main transmission lines were laid down by the Americans. The smaller lines going into all the little communities that was set up before was put down by Wasco, but then the main transmission lines from the treatment plants to the main tanks were put down by the Americans. In Vieux we have 2 treatment plants treating water for the residents of both Vieux and the library area.
This is the Beauséjour treatment plant, which served the town for many years.
But that plant has reached its capacity also, and it's necessary to change the whole entire infrastructure.
The Grace treatment plant has been in existence for many years.
This plant will be fed by gravity from an intake that we have higher up in the mountain. So this means that this plant doesn't need a lot of energy in terms of production of water, because the water feeding the plant is coming by gravity. So it is a plant that has the capacity of 480 cubic meters per hour.
In the past, residents and businesses have lived with unreliable, poor quality water.
We need better quality of water. You know, sometimes when it rains, you'll find out a little dirty water will come into the pipe.
We were having water once every 3 weeks, twice a week, sometimes it depends.
It has a major impact on my business because I think the same line that runs into Black Bay runs through this business, and there are times when I even have to send my workers home because there's no water.
What you get right now happening in the Vieux area is during the dry season, there's not sufficient water from the 2 intakes I'm talking about and the 2 treatment systems to feed the public. And in the rainy season, when there is sufficient water, the treatment plants cannot deliver the levels of turbidity of the water.
My husband and I end up discussing that we need to get a water tank if that continue to be in that situation. As adults, you can handle yourself, run to the river, but when you have kids, you have to make provisions for them to make sure that there's water in the household.
CDB was approached for financing for that project, and they approved a loan of $19.7 million to undertake those works. The primary components of the existing water supply system include the Grace intake and treatment plant with a production capacity of 1.4 million gallons a day.
There will be 4 production lines. Each line can produce up to 120 cubic meters, so we have a total capacity of 480 cubic meters. It will be fully automatic.
The Beauséjour intake and treatment plant, the production capacity of 800,000 gallons a day. 6 pumping stations, 12 storage tanks, totaling 4,116 cubic meters.
So 2 will be installed in La Tournée. We will have 1 here, to receive the water from the treatment plant. We have 1 additional reservoir also in Laborie, and 1 also big reservoir also on the site of Beauséjour.
Which will increase the storage to what is acceptable to up to 3 days. Presently, in the Vieux area, our storage is not more than a day.
But that new project will ensure that we have additional storage tanks in the Vieux area, principally in La Tournée, in Laborie, in Grace, and in Mont Beauséjour. We shall be able to increase the distribution of water from the current 1.5 million gallons a day to 4.5 million gallons a day. We're looking at Vieux North, Vieux South, Laborie and its environs, and to include communities like Grace, Auger, Pierrot, Montcayenne, Belleville, Opicon.
I think it's a good thing, and people are being employed. You see the young boys are being employed, they're finding something to do. And the people in the community, I think they are pleased, especially my folks from Coolitown, Waterworks, Hope Estate, so they will be able to get their water to do their business a little better.
Vieux Fort will have one of the most modern water systems in St. Lucia, including proper intakes, modernized treatment plants with their own lab facilities down there, sufficient and new water storage facilities or water tanks, new transmission lines to carry the water from the treatment facilities to the tanks for distribution. And as is spoken about a lot, also new offices to house the staff.
There is no way we could have undertaken such important and such costly works. We have to provide the people with the water supply, and the only way to do so is by loan financing through the CDB. Traditionally, they've always helped out the government in that regard.